What's good, everyone, and welcome back. So, I know you guys see that we got a little bit of a change of scenery behind me. The scenery will most likely change again. I'm just trying to get adjusted and basically trying to flesh out my own studio, my own space for my content creation. So, happy New New Year to everyone who is watching. And hope you guys had a good time. Hope you guys accomplished what you wanted to accomplish last year. And this year will be even better and you'll be able to accomplish more things. Okay? So, basically, today's actually a very special day because today is basically the first installment of my new, you can call it a podcast if you want. But I don't know what to call it yet in terms of what it's under its umbrella. But today is the first installment of Listen to Your Body. You can call it Listen to Your Body podcast or whatever you want to call it. This is episode 1 of Listen to Your Body. So how did this idea came upon me to create this podcast and to call it Listen to Your Body? So for one, I was at the gym working out and I started thinking about diet, right? And I started thinking about how I try to basically optimize my diet and do certain things in order to feel, still feel like I'm not necessarily super restricted, but also I monitor what I eat in a nice, way, basically. So I was working out, and when I was working out, taking a little rest, I was thinking about that. And that's what made me want to make this podcast called Listen to Your Body, because I tend to advocate people listening to themselves. But there's a difference between listening to your body and then not challenging yourself, right? So you can listen to your body and see how you can, especially if you're doing something that's too stressful for you, you have to learn to take a pause, a rest, and let your body heal, right? And that's one thing that most people who work out may have a problem with, is that, you may work out too much to the point where it's actually negatively affecting your body. And that's why I wanted to make this podcast called Listen to Your Body, so people who watch this can be more informed and things like that, so I can have a discussion with all of you all who I really appreciate. So basically, on the first episode, I want to talk about how to properly optimize your diet and nutrition in my way. And, again, this is just my own thoughts and my own opinion, right? So this is how I basically do my things, right? So let's say that, let me actually start from a total beginning. This video is not going to be too long because it's just the first episode, and we'll flesh things out as we go. So let's start from the beginning, right? You're working out. You got to get your diet in check. What I always recommend people to do is to basically do intermittent fasting, right? Fasting is good for you because it flushes out everything that's in your system. It clears your head, and it's actually really good for your body, just in general, because you don't really need to be eating continuously for your body. You don't need to be eating as soon as you wake up, all these things, et cetera, for you to be properly, to have proper nutrition, right? So I always tell people to intermittent fast if they're trying to cut weight and they're trying to get into the habit of eating less. And then they can use that to further themselves along when they actually maybe kind of slow down on the intermittent fasting and start eating maybe a little bit more throughout the day, or just eating a little earlier throughout the day. You'll know how to properly manage your calories. So when I tell people who are looking to basically get in shape, is that you have to intermittent fast. So what I do is when I wake up, I pretty much don't eat till about 3 p.m., right? Well, that's what I did initially starting, but now I learned to optimize myself a little better. And I would say if you want to do that type of intermittent fasting, do it for a month. Don't push yourself too much and do it for too long, because it can actually have adverse effect, especially if you're a person who's working out in the gym intensively, right? And very intense. So if you're just a person who doesn't really work out as intense, and you do maybe 3 times a week, maybe you can do intermittent fasting for longer. Or if you're just a person, who maybe just walks around the neighborhood and things like that, yeah, you can do intermittent fasting a little longer. But if you're a person who's going to the gym 5 times out of the week, you're pushing heavy weight, you're working out very strongly, you're very determined. You don't want to intermittent fast for too long because your body is going to then try to take nutrients from different parts of itself, right? So you're going to start becoming catabolic in a certain way. You're still going to definitely gain muscle. Trust me, I gained a lot of muscle, but you may not have enough energy. You may not be able to do certain things, and you may even start losing your hair a little bit. Facts. So, that's how I started. So I would say you guys do it for a month. Don't eat anything till 3 and don't eat anything after 10, right? Basically, and then cut out calories in your drinks. So try to drink 0 calorie options, 10 calorie options. Like I like to drink the Bai drink. I like to drink just things that have 0 calories. You can find that sparkling water, etc., etc. You can find those things, and instead of drinking juice, substitute for 0 calorie option drinks. That will cut your calories and will help you lose weight in such a rapid way that you'll just be shocked. Like, because people don't know, you pour a cup of this, a cup of that, you're drinking like 500 calories in just a day, easily, that you can use to have actual proper nutrition for your body, right? So when I say listen to your body, this is what I mean, right? So that's a little background on the intermittent fasting. This is what I mean when I say listen to your body. So, let's say that you've had a crazy weekend, right? Like you just had New Year's and all that stuff and Christmas, and you ate a lot on those days, right? And you could tell your body like, man, especially when you've intermittent fast and you know how much you really need to satiate yourself in terms of hunger, your body really knows. You'll be able to tell when you've actually went a little bit too far in what you're eating, right? So then if you have one of those days, the best thing for you to do is not to be super upset at yourself, for overeating. That's actually good for yourself nutrition-wise, especially if you're a person who's doing long-term intermittent fasting. So what you want to do is the next day, right? You want to tap back into that intermittent fasting. So the next day, you don't want to eat anything in the morning. You can drink some water, but you don't want to eat anything, again, till like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., whatever fits your scheduling, to flush out all the overeating you've done that day. So you eat at that time a moderate dinner, and then again, you probably eat one more time, something very moderate, and you can, drink some 0 calorie option drink, some water, and then eat maybe like a little snack to get that sugar craving that you have. It's okay to eat sugar sometimes, to have a donut every now and then, but I say to substitute stuff like that for protein bars, for protein bars that have, maybe 1 gram of sugar. For rice cakes, those are good things to substitute if you have a sweet tooth. You can still eat sweet things, don't let people tell you can't, but you have to moderate yourself. It's all about moderation, right? So that's what you want to do. So if you had that crazy, you've ate way more than your caloric threshold, right? Then the next day you don't want to continue to eat at an earlier time period. You don't want to eat at 12. You want to fast. Let your body digest everything you just finished eating and drinking the night before. You can do it till like 4 p.m., especially if you had a crazy night. 4 p.m. is good, maybe even 5, and then let your body digest and then eat that first meal of the day, and then maybe you can eat like a couple hours later, which I would actually recommend you do eat a couple hours later, and then eat that last meal of the night and just go to bed, right? So how does this fit into listening to your body? Because you know that you ate too much the night before, you can feel it. So why would you then eat the same amount, or even if you're not eating the same amount, why would you eat within your caloric range the next day? The next day, the best thing for you to do is to actually lower your caloric range so it can all equal out, right? And that's how you stay in a place where you're not gaining fat. You're still monitoring yourself, right? So this is episode 1. We just entered the new year, and I know a lot of people probably just went overboard on the food, but definitely now it's time for you to get back into motion. I'll talk about how to, pivot from intermittent fasting for a lot of you guys. And it's okay during the weekend to eat earlier than 3 p.m., right? You can eat earlier than 3 p.m. if you're a newbie. Even if you're advanced at intermittent fasting, it's okay to eat earlier than 3 p.m. on the weekends, right? Especially Saturday. Saturday is, I give you guys, people a pass. Even Sunday too. But Friday you can still intermittent fast. But Saturday you can definitely eat a little bit earlier and be a little lax. But you don't want to go overboard. That's the thing. You have to listen to your body. So, I'm going to talk about this some more, how to basically pivot from intermittent fasting. Because right now, I'm going to give you guys a little teaser. I do eat earlier in the day now. You know, I eat like something, because I know what type of caloric threshold I have. And I know if I eat like an egg sandwich earlier in the day, and maybe I drink like a protein milk type of protein shake type of thing, I'm cool. That's like 500 calories. That's 300 calories. That's enough to satiate me until my next meal, right? So I might eat around 12 p.m. So I wake up at like, let's say 8 a.m. And I might eat around that time, 12 or noon or so. And then when I eat at noon, then I won't eat my next meal till like maybe around 3. And I go to the gym around 5, 6, come home and I eat my last meal. But that's to give my body more energy, right? More energy. I'm not necessarily eating more. I'm eating probably the same amount of my caloric range, but I'm dividing it up into an earlier time frame. And I realize that's actually really good for me in terms of my energy and things like that. So I can actually perform better. And I know that my body isn't using itself to then, to basically use it for energy, you know? And it's okay to increase your calories a little bit incrementally. It's fine. You just have to not go overboard, basically. So thank you all for joining the first episode of my podcast, Listen to Your Body. We'll discuss a lot of these things, and I'll see you all later. Peace. Happy New Year.